Happy Wednesday, everyone. We hope that you all are having a great, amazing day. So thank you again for joining us today, for investing in yourself, for joining us for day 2. Here's one thing I know about all of you who are joining us today. You are go-getters, you're decision makers, and you're ready to flip the script on the diet industry and be empowered to make transformational shifts in your life. So way to go for joining us today. See you all joining. Hi, Maddie. Again, if I don't see your name, it's because you haven't given StreamYard capability for me to see your name. There's a hi, Mom. That one's interesting, but hi, Violet, and thanks for joining us from. So, as you're joining, let us know what city, state, or country you're joining us from as well. And Catherine, you had a question about how do you copy and paste the homework. That is a great question. Typically, either you can go ahead and just type it in yourself. That might be the easiest way, but maybe I'll also include a place that you can just copy and paste and make it a little easier. Hello, Lily, Catherine, Maddie, again, Violet from West Virginia, Michigan in the house as well. So absolutely awesome to have you all here today to enjoy and keep learning with us on day 2. So yesterday, what we covered essentially was why the diet industry has failed you. And know that it's not your fault that it has not worked, right? Today, what we're going to be covering with you is we're going to be unveiling the EPIC formula, which is our simple, guaranteed 4-step strategy to get you the results and the confidence that you want without ever having to diet again. Now, I saw a lot of participation in the group yesterday, and that's where it's at. Each of you is investing in yourself. So many folks who did the homework. And I think, as I was reading a lot of those and asking questions of you, and that's what you should expect of us as coaches. We're going to ask questions of you because you have the answers inside of you. Is to know that is a lot of time and energy that you are investing, or, well, I don't know if investing is the right word, but thinking about food, nutrition, and your relationship with it. Imagine what you could do if you took that time instead to do something that serves you, your family, and really just expands your life. So we're going to be sharing a little bit of that today. If you're here, again, go ahead and drop me an I'm ready to go ahead and launch into day 2. So go ahead and drop me an I'm ready, and we will be launching into day 2 here really shortly. As you're also commenting on your I'm ready, what's the aha you had yesterday? What was that one nugget that we shared with you that made you think it doesn't have to be this way? It could be completely different. Something you really took away. So go ahead and drop those in for me. Randy's ready. Chrissy's ready. Sue Ellen's ready. Heck yes. Paula, welcome. So what was that aha that you had yesterday? What really stuck with you from yesterday's training about just basically ditching the diet and knowing that the diet industry has not served you, and the 3 reasons why, right? All right. So we'll be keeping reading those. At this moment, actually, I'm going to take a moment and introduce one of my fearless coaches. Her name is Courtney. Y'all have met her yesterday. And again, we just want to make sure that y'all know that you're in good hands and share a little bit about us too.
Hello, you guys. How are you? All right. Day 2. This is my favorite day because we get to unveil for you guys the EPIC formula, the formula that's going to truly transform your life. So again, my name is Courtney Miracle. My journey of health and wellness really started from an eating disorder, unfortunately. So at 16, I created a story that I was fat, that I needed to diet, that I needed to be smaller. None of that was ever true. I was a very bad body dysmorphia. I got to the point of like, how little can I eat? I made it a game, and it was not a game that served me. But that went into having eating disorders. I was bulimic. I was anorexic at one point in my life. I think I was about 25. I went to the doctor and I had 17 cavities all between my teeth because I was throwing up every day. So my story, but I know now that my mess has been my message, and I know there was a reason for all of this. I got into a better place off and on, and then it would always come back, right? It would never really go away. When I was 40, I decided, I really need to have a 6-pack, and I need to go get a better coach, and I need to do all these things. None of that was true, but I went on a mission to find a better coach. And instead of finding a better coach, I found a mentor, and a mentor that changed everything for me. So I started listening to her. Her name is Sam, and she was talking about the emotionality of food. And I was like, you know what? I've felt this way. I've hated my body. I've been trapped in this box. I've been struggling. I've been frustrated. I've given up so much joy. Like, maybe this is the thing. And I was standing in my bathroom. My little girls were in the bathtub. They were 4 and 2. And I remember looking at them and I was like, if I don't change, I'm going to pass this on. And I started crying. And they're still my motivation, right? And so I was like, I got to go do something. So I embarked on a journey that forever changed my life and is why I'm here, right? So it was a 10-month program, and the first 8 weeks were spent just on working on ourselves. And I'll tell you guys, from day 1 to the end of 8 weeks, I was a completely different person. I finally understood why I felt that way. I understood how to shift things. I understood how to change. And then I spent the next 8 months really learning, how do I walk people down this journey? So I became certified as a coach. I then went on to facilitate breath work. I was very disconnected, head and heart. And mind and body. And that's what we see through a lot of our clients. And so learning to guide breath work and get ourselves connected, it was transformative for me. So it was really a journey of struggle, and one where food was always the enemy. The diet, it was always on a diet. It was such a terrible place to be. So my mission for you guys is to really understand in these 3 days that freedom is possible, that it's not your fault, that there's a better way, and you can step into expansion and joy and love, and you can have all of those amazing things in your life, and it's just not as hard as you think it is. So we want you guys, we're so thankful. Honestly, you guys, yesterday, reading the comments and the homework, I just have so much love for you guys, and I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourself, and just hold the faith. There is a better way. So I'm going to pass it on to my better half, Mr. Miracle.
I know like better half, but I'll take the other one. So I'm going to echo a lot of what my wife just said, a lot of her experiences with this. Yet again, for a lot of you guys that are hopping on here that may not join us on day one, just kind of recap of who I am. But more importantly, I want to thank you again for taking the time to join us today. I know for all you guys, you're busy out there. You got a million different things, and I don't want to take lightly of just your time of joining us. So thank you. So my name is Brandon Miracle. I've been a performance and elite performance coach for almost 20 years now. I have a BA in human performance and sport, a minor in nutrition. I've been a strength conditioning coach, basically from all levels, shapes, and sizes, from general population to working with professional athletes and all professionals and everything else. And, a lot of my tutelage and my first initial interaction with folks when it came to a nutritional standpoint was working up at the University of Colorado, working in their strength conditioning center and working in their nutrition center a lot with their athletes. And it was about 15 years ago, I was given a gift from another coach in the form of essentially a challenge. Right? Like those that know me, my wife and I, we have our own brick and mortar gym that we've had for about 12 years, and know that we've gone the challenge route. We've done different things, but I'm not a big challenge person. But at that time frame in my life, the challenge was what I needed, was basically a coach and a mentor of mine challenging me and challenging a lot of the philosophies and methodologies in which I was taught in my collegiate classes, right? Like I spent countless amount of dollars, countless amount of hours and time and everything else diving into a lot of the conventional thought processes and a lot of the things in which I hear you guys saying of like, hey, I've been told this. Why am I not getting the results? This is supposed to be like the golden rule when it comes to nutrition and transformation and body change and all these other things. And it wasn't until that he basically embarked of like, hey, try this method of mine for 30 days. And, I was like, a young guy at the time frame, what do I have to lose? It's 30 days. I'll give this a shot. Right. And so, his message to me at the time was, especially from coming from an athletic stem of like, if you're not feeling better, you're not moving better, you're not in less pain, you're not, less inflamed, you're not less, you have better cognitive function, you're sleeping better, you're not complaining all the time about your shoulders and your elbows and hurting all the other things that I was experiencing at the time frame. So I was like, all right, I'll try it at it. And to be honest, the first week was like mind-blowing because it was ungodly just simple. I mean, for so much of what I went to school for, what I was, preached of like, this is the method of what you're supposed to do. It was absurdly simple compared to like the mathematical equations that we get slammed down our throat all the time. And so over the course of 30 days, literally, I went from 185 pounds at that time frame, and in 30 days, I dropped down to 155 pounds. I lost 30 pounds. And yet again, those that for a lot of you guys, you've never had any interaction with me. We've never seen each other face to face, but especially at that time frame in my life, I was the guy that's always been blessed to have a six pack no matter what lifestyle I was living, right? Like looking at me in the mirror, I would have never thought I have 30 pounds to lose. What I found on there is I was chronically inflamed. I was lethargic. I was always basically walking around like my head was in the clouds, my elbows, my shoulders, all these things hurt. But my excuse was, I played football in college, right? Like I'm supposed to feel this way. And so it really showed me that not only the power of how simple food and nourishment really can be, right? But it more importantly showed me that the power of what food has to really infiltrate and improve every aspect and element of all of our lives, right? Like it can improve my sleep, it can improve my mood, it can improve my cognitive function, it can improve just my energy of how I show up every single day. And the best part of this, you guys, is it was literally just eye-opening of how simple that process can be. So over this, you guys, yet again, I want to tell you that from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you guys showing up for us, but more importantly for yourself and really diving in for these 3 days. And I'm really looking forward to what we have to show you for today. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it back over to Jen here, and she's going to take you through this.
Awesome. So one of the things you probably have all really heard and seen on so many boards, and it completely breaks my heart, is when folks say, I'm doing all the right things. I'm eating all the right things. And a testament to Brandon's story, we may be doing all of that stuff, right? But there's something more, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, the EPIC formula. I invite you to write that down actually on a piece of paper, EPIC. We're going to go through that. But I'm also going to go ahead and just, again, share a little bit about my story. And many of you have seen, or you might have seen this on the replay, you might have seen this live yesterday. My life completely changed 2 years ago. And so regardless of where you are in your journey, I want to let you know that it's not too late. It's not, you are enough, you're incredible, and this is all within you. So I didn't really explain the pictures yesterday, but you can kind of see there the one on the right in the middle. That was me over 4 years ago. So growing up, nutrition was never my thing. I got bullied quite a bit from weight gain. And again, I explained a little bit about how my parents show food through love, or love through food. But unfortunately that caught up with me. As an 8-year-old, I really had no answers into how I needed to change my life, but I knew I needed to because of all the constant bullying that was going on. I had lost hope. I was in a bad spot, and that went from 8 to 14. At 14, I figured out some things, but I will tell you this, it wasn't easy, and I still was not really treating my body and treating myself the way that I should. So to kind of, share a little bit more, the picture there on the right in the middle, again, not at my best self. And then 4 years ago, I found myself under the orange lights, and many of you know what that feels like, and my life completely changed. And I will tell you, that was one big, huge defining moment. After that, as life is, it got a bit more complicated, and we decided to actually foster to adopt. So enter in 2 kids pretty much into our life and figuring out that I still needed to invest in myself. How was I going to do that? Then that was hard. So actually, if, for any caretakers on here, for any moms, can you go ahead and drop that in? #mom, because we are brave, we are powerful, we have so much to give. And I think sometimes we just forget about investing in ourselves. But the more we do that, the more we're able to give others. So 2 years ago, after enough headbanging, enough saying, I can't just take any more of just working out and not seeing the results and not feeling the confidence I want, I went online into the massive world of Google to try to figure out nutrition. If you've ever done it before, I am sorry. It's very chaotic. It's very noisy. And so that's why we're here. We want to fast track your results, make it simple, and just make it basically just as quiet and as calm, and know that you've got this. So 2 years now in, the insanity of diet culture, just the insanity of not feeling well about myself is completely, I feel like I kill it. And guess what? I'm the best mom I can be. So for all those moms out there, it is hard. You can do it. And just know that this is just another piece to help you be a better individual. You don't have to trade one thing in for the other. So my kids are 5 and 9. So I'm not talking very old here where they can kind of do everything by themselves. There's still a lot of just collaboration and partnership and just being a mom that happens every day. So mom life can be tough, but we can't forget about ourselves. I've read some of your stories as well. They're resonating with me. So know that you've got a lot of hope. All right, we're going to go into a little bit of housekeeping as well. So first off, I forgot completely yesterday about the prizes. There's a couple of things. At the end of this training, we often get asked a question about how do we take a step closer to you as coaches to help me transform my life. We're going to share that with you tomorrow. You don't need to worry about that right now, but know that we want you to be present, absorb this material, take it in, and tomorrow we're going to continue your training, and if you feel that's right for you, hey, we'd love to have you on board. But with that being said, we do have a free 90-day scholarship that we will be giving out to one lucky participant, and that's going to be based off engagement. I have seen so much on the wall over the last couple of days. So a lot of moms out there, thanks for pouring all that in. I have 2. I don't know how anybody does more than 2, honestly, so huge props. But again, that 90-day scholarship to one lucky recipient. As well as, I forgot to mention, prize 2. A lot of talk about hormones. How do I master my hormones? Do I always have to be a victim of my hormones? The answer is no. So we will go ahead and offer you a masterclass as a second prize to master those hormones and know that they don't have control over you. In fact, you can flip the script on them. And then prize 3 will be a $25 Amazon gift card. But to be present to win today, I've got 2 journals we will be giving out. It's our shift journals. So the first winner, and again, you must comment on here. So please, if I call your name, go ahead and comment that you are here. If not, we will go to the next person. So Violet Maston, are you on with us today? Violet Maston. There you are, Violet, I see you. You are our first lucky winner. I will reach out to you and I will get this out to you. Our second winner, Maddie, and I might not say the last name correctly, apologize please, is Ecorn, Maddie Ecorn. I think I might have seen you on here as well for our second prize winner, or winner of our second journal. So, okay. There you are, Maddie, awesome. So again, I'll reach out to you, Violet and Maddie, and we will make sure that we get those to you so that you can go ahead and start making those shifts in your life. With that being said, there'll also be a Zoom tomorrow. I will be sending out the information for that. It will be, there'll be a couple links, so please keep an eye out on your email. And the other thing I will go ahead and share with you right before we get to share the epic formula with you today is it doesn't have to be this way. You can't be the best mom. You can be the best self. You can go ahead and toss the scale, liberate yourself from all the noise, and know that there is a better way, that you can form an amazing relationship with your body and yourself, and you don't have to spend countless hours a day thinking about your diet, and you can feel empowered, amazing, and all the other words that y'all mentioned on your homework you want to feel. So let me just go ahead and share really quickly a couple of our testimonials. Yesterday you might have met Anna. One of the things I love about Anna is she was a yo-yo dieter. Can anybody empathize here with being a yo-yo dieter? If you have been a yo-yo dieter at some point in your life, if you've been on countless diets, please go ahead and drop me a yes. So again, Catherine, so sick of thinking about dieting. I get it. Okay, so many of us have been there. But Anna knew it didn't have to be that way. And Anna basically decided to invest in herself. And at the end of their testimonial, you will see here that she now understands that food doesn't have to be the enemy, that food is nourishment, and that she deserves to achieve her goals. So Anna's been amazing to work with. Riley as well. Again, she is also an Orange Theory athlete like many of us are. Tossed the scale, had no clue how much she weighed because it didn't matter. And one of the things we see so often and we hear so often is, I am undernourished. I don't eat enough. And many of us do not. And in working with us, many people start to realize that, and it's interesting. Many of us don't make progress because we are not eating enough. It's not necessarily, we sometimes equate food to being overweight. That's not the answer, y'all. And again, we're not here to sell you a unicorn pill. If that's the case, please know that this training is not for you. We're here for folks who want to know the different way. Laura, again, thinking it was about nutrition and physical change and making shifts, and those are important. We want to feel empowered by our nutrition and know that we understand it and the whys behind it. But can you put a price on acceptance of yourself and breaking down those mental barriers and just loving yourself and being the best person for you? So know that, again, what we're going through, it's not another diet. We're tossing the diet industry out the door. It's about making an investment in yourself. And I will go ahead and also share Erica's story. So Erica is someone I've worked with very closely, very near and dear to my heart. Erica is actually in Canada, and she joined us for her first program. And one of the things I loved about Erica is that when we met her, she was going through a lot of life change and a lot of things she was considering, such as bariatric surgery. She went from bariatric surgery to feeling empowered and in love with who she is within 3 weeks. At that point in Canada, the studios were closed because of COVID. And she felt empowered to make some changes to her nutrition, to her physical activity right where she is, knowing that she had 3 amazing coaches who had her back. As of today, Erica is not on the bariatric surgery list, she is PRing, she's killing it, and she has so much faith and confidence in herself that there is just no price tag on that. So again, we're sharing the stories with you because it does not need to be this way. So at this point, I actually will go ahead and turn it over to Courtney, who's going to be telling you a story, I think, about a friend.
Story time, you guys. All right, let me get back to the screen. All right, guys. So I want to tell you a story, and it's kind of a sad story, but I had a friend, and you guys have probably all had this friend, right? They're in that relationship with the guy that just sucks, right? Like they're just not that good human. And she would call me and she would say, every day I'm trying to do the things and I get up and he discourages me and he tells me that I look terrible and it's never good enough. And I just, but I can't break up with him. I can't get away from him. And he would break my heart every day. And I try to go through why are you doing this? How is this serving you? And she just didn't hear it, right? And it just broke my heart because none of us deserve to have that. So what if you guys are living that story? Replace the boyfriend and use the word scale. So how many of you every day, you get up and you're like, I'm going to get on this scale, and you're hoping that it's going to tell you something good, and you get on it and it disappoints you. And it tells you that you're not good enough. And it says all the hard work you're doing, and I don't care how strong you are, and I don't care any of that. You're just not good enough. You're not worth this, right? You guys, I got rid of the scale 4 years ago. I haven't weighed myself in 4 years. It has been the most amazing, beautiful thing I've ever done in my life, right? And I know we've talked about this, and a lot of people are like, but what if I get rid of the scale? It's my certainty. But most of us are pretty certain that it makes us feel bad because you are so much more than the number on the scale, right? And we talk about this a lot. Everyone has this number in their head that's their okay number or their happy number. Where did that number even come from? Who gave that to you, right? It's probably not even your number. So I just want you guys to imagine, what would it feel like to take a sledgehammer and to smash your scale? And to know that you don't need it because you're happy and you're empowered and you're fed and you're strong and you're confident. That scale doesn't do anything for you. So I want you guys to really take a second and be like, I'm going to smash my scale. So I want you to drop a hashtag smash my scale. Okay. I want you guys to understand that you have the power. You just maybe kind of gave it to somebody else. So we're going to take it back, right? So we're going to really dive into the EPIC formula right now, you guys. So get out your pen and paper. This is where the magic starts to happen, right? We're going to have a smash your scale party, you guys. Wouldn't that be fun? But this is where the magic starts to happen. So get out your pen and paper. We're going to go over the EPIC formula. Okay. So we're going to pull back the curtain. We're going to show you exactly how we transform our clients, right? So EPIC, EPIC, they stand for things: education, purpose, intention, and creation. Sounds nothing like dieting, does it? It sounds incredible. So Brandon, I'm going to turn it back over to Brandon. He's going to go through the E and the P, and then I'll be back for the I and the C. So Keep dropping those smash your scales. I'm so excited for you guys to never weigh yourself again. All right, baby.
The E and the P and the I and the C.
I'll make a song.
How many of you guys would love to smash the scale? Right? Like, I think so many things, just like what Courtney was talking about, of it locks us in, right? Like, I can feel and hear so many of your comments right now of like, oh my God, I can't even imagine that, right? But it would feel so good, right? We want to help empower you. The whole goal of this, you guys, is to help empower you to understand that you are the creator of your life. You are the one that's holding the pen that is dictating and writing the script for your life, right? And so we want to help empower and give you the sense of all the tools in which you can create these things in your life. All right. So I'm going to go over the E and the P to the EPIC formula. All right. The first part of this, and this is near and dear, especially to my heart, right? Like, I know Jen and Court always get on me of like, you got to speak less, right? So I'm going to hop on here. I'm going to hopefully get through this pretty quick for you guys. But the first part is education. Right. And I think, I want you guys to be honest, right? We talked about this yesterday of how many diets have you guys been on, right? For some of you guys, it was 5, it was 10, it was 15. I've been on every single diet that's ever come out, right? And so I want you to kind of review that. If you're in that boat, how many of you guys have been on that many diets, but still have no idea why, right? Like, what is the purpose behind that diet structure? What is the methodology in which they're trying to implement? What's the reason behind carbs, fats, and proteins, right? Like, what reactions do those have in your body, right? Like, for so many of the clients, I'm like, I've been on every diet ever known to man, and I have still no idea what a protein source is, right? So if that's you guys, the good news is you're in the right area, because we are here to empower you by giving you the tools, right? I mean, I'll be honest. We've been working in this industry for 20 years, and I've had coworkers, other coaches next to me of like, you're crazy. You literally are trying to give away the tools to your tool shed by giving your clients all the information. Well, then what's the point of me being here? Right? Like, for so long in this industry, right? I've had fellow coworkers be like, if you realize if you give them all the information, they're not going to come back to you. Well, if I give them the information, I'm serving my job as a coach. I'm here to help them, not drag them down. My job isn't to be an anchor. My job here is to take off the anchor so you can fly and you can be the creator of your life. All right. So just kind of looking at that from your own sense, right? Like, can you relate, right? You've done every diet in the world, but you have no idea why those things are even designed the way they are. All right. So the way most diets are implemented, you guys, is, well, here, you walk through the door. This is your goal that you want. Here's the plan, right? Like, here's your food guide. Here's your macro numbers. Here's the calories. Here's your meal timing. Here's the supplements. Here's these kind of things. But I have never met you from the day you walked in off the door. I have no idea what your history is. I have no idea what the outcome you're even wanting is. I have no idea what your health history is, what your training history is, what your stress level is throughout your day. All of these things are going to affect the outcome in which you're trying to move towards. But you guys don't get taught these things, right? It's just, oh, you know what? If you're not following in this certain parameter of calories and you're not seeing a result, there's something wrong with you. If you're not eating this certain amount of number when it comes to your macronutrients and you're not losing body fat, you're doing these things, something's wrong with you. No, there are so many other variables that go into the equation that nobody talks about. From your sleep, from your stress, to what you drink, to the amount of nutrient density, all those things are going to affect when it comes to nourishment, whether or not the thing in which you're trying to get to change is going to actually change. All right. So yet again, our goal here is to empower you by educating you why these things are important and whether or not they may be contributing factors for you individually or not. Because at the end of the day, you guys, you are your own separate entity, right? Like, we are all individual in the sense of like our own internal makeup. So me giving you the same blueprint that your neighbor next door to you is, even though you guys have different lifestyles, different history, different things, you're going to get completely two different results. But because we don't disclose those things and because we don't educate you guys on those things, you go ahead and start yet again thinking there's something wrong with you. All right. So that's what we want to do. Our goal here is to empower you. Our goal here is to give you the tools. So no matter what phase of life, because that's the other thing, and I can speak to this, you guys, is there was a time frame in which I was getting all, but because of life, to a different phase of my life. but I've wanted to get back onto, feeling the sense of power, feeling the sense of fitness and health and wellness. Oh, but the last time I did this was when I was 26 and I had to work out 3 hours a day. I had to count my nutrients. I had to do all these kind of things in order to get that result. Well, that's not applicable in my life right now, right? And how many of you guys go back into like, well, the only time that I was able to get the results that I had was doing this one specific thing. But I have no idea why that worked. But I'm going to do it now, even though that's not realistic in my life right now, right? Can you relate with that? Right? And so yet again, if we understand the fundamentals behind this, you get to have empowerment behind, you know what? I understand this thing because these are the tools in which I know I can implement right now, because these are the things I can do every single day and feel good about the process that I'm doing. Not on the sense of like, well, if I can't follow the unicorn diet to a T, I'm a bad person, right? So yet again, education leads to empowerment. Our job here is to empower you guys and take away the shackles that most of the dieting industry tries to place upon you and lead you to that their one unicorn way of doing something is going to be the only way to lead to that. It doesn't work that way. So we're here to empower you. All right. So give me a hashtag education if you're ready to learn and you're ready to empower yourself. Let's see here. Next thing we got is the P. E to the P. E to the P. All right. The next thing, you guys, we got purpose. All right. I don't know about you. All right. For 20 years, you guys, I think purpose empowers all of us, right? Like when we have a sense of purpose, that creates a much different drive of what we're trying to accomplish every single day, right? For 20 years, I've had people coming in through our doors that, you know what? I feel like I don't have any motivation. I feel like, you know what? There's something wrong with me. I don't have that gumption to get up and go in my day. Well, what's your purpose? Why are you here? What's the reason behind what you're trying to create in your life? Well, I don't know. I'm doing this because I was told I had to. I don't know about you, but that's not very impelling, right? Like that's not something that's like stokes a fire under your system. Like, I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? So we want to help you find, not only distinguish the outcome you want to create in your life, but also distinguish the purpose behind what you are doing, right? Like there's a much different thing of knowing what to do versus knowing why to do it. Right. Like, I think, yet again, we're blessed with two beautiful daughters, right? We got 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. And just like the benefits of parenting, right? Like I saw a lot of you guys on here raising your hand and, bragging about your kids, your grandkids and everything else. And they are amazing. But we're also going through the trials and tribulations of life of like, why can we not clean our room? Why can we not, get on our homework? Why we got to go to soccer? We got all these kind of things, right? We're juggling life the same as everyone else, right? But I don't know about you, but when our daughters understand the reason as to why we want them to do certain things, the reason why it's better for them to be proactive and clean their room. So that way on Sundays, we're not spending hours upon hours reconstructing the entire house because they've demolished it all throughout the week, right? When they understand the why and the purpose behind what they are doing on a day-to-day basis, they are way more inclined to get up and have that internal motivation to get going into the things in what they do, right? So because they get to see, oh, it feels better to have my room clean. Oh, I feel more free when my area around me isn't so confining and restricting, right? I have more pleasure. I have more just abundance type of feeling of me being able to experience these things, right? Instead of me as a parent talking at them, I get to empower them with them understanding the purpose behind what they are doing. And you are no different, right? When we're coming to a standpoint of nourishment, right? Like if you knew the why behind what we were doing and why for you specifically, certain things are going to be more possibly compelling than other things, right? Would you say you were going to probably be more motivated to do the things in which you are wanting to create in your life, right? Like give me a hashtag motivation. If you're ready to feel motivated every single day you wake up and feel empowered every single day you're ready to go, give me a hashtag motivation on that, you guys. So I think the biggest part of this, you guys, when it comes to purpose is when we're creating these things in our life, right? Like I think for so many of you guys, and yet again, I can't speak for you, but from the clients that we work with that have gone through the Rolodex of dieting, the Rolodex of yo-yoing, all over the place when it comes to diet culture, is because we're searching, right? We're searching for the thing that's going to finally work, right? But our goal with this program, you guys, is to help, yet again, educate by empowering you guys, but also help you identify the purpose behind what you are doing. So that way, once the next year goes about, because I promise you next year, there's going to be an even better unicorn diet that's going to come out, that's going to fix mankind forever, right? Because it has every single year since like 1965, right? But when those things come out, you get to make the decision from a place of consciousness, not just making decisions based off your emotions. Okay. And that's the last part I want to tie in with it when it comes to purpose, you guys, is it's estimated that roughly about 75% of people emotionally eat. Then that's either they eat or don't eat because of their emotions, right? But most diets and most diet culture has you believe of like, well, just follow this plan. Eat your macros, weigh and measure your food, eat at this specific time. But if 75% plus of us eat because of our emotions, and we don't disclose and we don't identify and we don't create a different understanding when it comes to our mental, emotional, and psychological relationship around food, we're doomed to fail. I mean, just on basic statistics, right? Like, how many of you guys have gone through your plan? You're doing everything to a T. You're weighing, you're measuring, you're doing all these things. But then all of a sudden you have a bad day at work. All of a sudden you go home and the kids are stressing you out. All of a sudden, your boss lays a deadline at you on your door right before you're getting ready to walk out the door. And then lo and behold, you turn to Ben & Jerry's, you turn to Krispy Kreme, you turn to something, you go to a Budge Brothers pizza. And then all of a sudden you're left feeling like you failed yourself, right? But that's one of the biggest errors in diet culture from our perspective is without education, without purpose, you're going to be left feeling like you're a failure. And so that's the piece that we dive into, you guys, is diving into educating, not only in the sense of nourishment, not only helping you to develop the purpose behind your nourishment plan, but understanding you, which is the biggest and best project of all. You get to be educated on yourself. And if you can create education on yourself, it doesn't matter what goes through. You get to create a different understanding, a different relationship with your emotions. And that way, no matter what phase of life, no matter what circumstance knocks on your door, you are the creator and you are the empowerment of your own life. All right. So moving on from there, you guys, I'm going to turn it back over to Court. She's going to go over the I and the C. But before we get there, you guys, give me a hashtag purpose if you're ready to discover your purpose, ready to move forward and create your life. So back to you, dear.
So I didn't know that we got to have a rap today, but we are epic rappers. I am not a rapper, you guys. I am definitely like a country girl. But you guys, I'm so proud of you. You're all still here. You're like emotionally eating, you guys, 75%. So I would say I could raise my hand that I've eaten because I'm stressed. I've drank wine because I'm stressed. I've not eaten because I'm stressed, right? Like, it's just, there's so much more to it than food, right? So I get to talk about the I and the C, which are probably the things nearest and dearest to my heart. So if you're on yesterday, you know that I deemed myself the woo-woo one. So that's why I'm talking about these two things. So when I started down my journey, the first thing we did was awareness. And that's what we walked through with you guys, is that so many of us are like, I want to get here. Cool. Where is there? I mean, sometimes we don't even know where there is, but we have no idea where we are, right? So first we have to start with awareness, right? So awareness is just this beautiful, beautiful gift of like, where am I? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I thinking the thoughts that I'm thinking, right? And once we have awareness and we're like, okay, this is where I am, this is what's happening, this is maybe where it's come from, we just start to see things differently, right? And I remember the first time I was actually able to observe my life without being in the bottle with it, right? Without being in the struggle. And I was able to look sort of from out here and be like, that doesn't make sense, right? None of this makes sense. All the things I've been told, none of it makes sense, right? So with intention, you guys, intention is literally my word for 2022. Because with intention, and when your intention shifts, your entire life will shift, okay? So I want to share my biggest intention shift when I was going through my journey, right? I had spent, since I was 16 till I was 40, everything that I did that revolved around diet or food was in order to not hate my body, okay? So maybe you guys can relate to this. Like, I was trying not to hate my body. So I was dieting, I was throwing up, I was exercising just so that I didn't hate my body, right? And as I started to shift, my intention went from, okay, I want to love my body, right? Like, drop me a hashtag love my body, because most of us, we'd like to love our body. And honestly, you guys, I was like, how is that even possible? Like, I hate my body. I've always hated my body. And so when I started going, okay, I desire to love my body, but I had no idea how to do it. I was like, I don't even think that's possible. But yeah, sure, I'd love to love my body. I'd love to feel empowered. I would love to look at it and appreciate it and speak nicely to it, right? But I didn't know how, right? But when I started to go, okay, if I could come from that place and pretend like I love my body, what actions would I take? My intentions were very different, right? And so it's kind of like we talk to our kids about this, right? Of trying not to lose a game versus trying to win a game. So think about if you were to show up every day in the, I have one body, this is my masterpiece, I get to love it, I get to fuel it, I get to let it rest, I get to speak nicely to it, right? Like coming from a place of loving your body versus coming from a place of not hating it. Like the energy is totally different. And when that intention shifted, everything else felt like everything else shifted in my life. And I was like, okay, so if my intentions can change and that can change everything, what happens? So when you guys think about intention, you get to be intentional with all of the things, right? We don't have to just randomly wander through the world hoping that this works, right? So when we talk about food, what is the intention of it, right? Like sometimes you're eating food so that it can fuel your body. Sometimes you're eating chocolate because it tastes really good. Sometimes you're drinking wine because you're on a date night. Sometimes you're, like there's always an intention. So I want you guys to understand that with intention, it goes with purpose, right? We have the education and we have the intention and it takes us closer to that purpose, right? So one of my favorite words, and this may or may not resonate with you guys yet, but is alignment, right? When you're taking intentions, you have this version of yourself that you want to be, the highest, happiest, healthiest, most confident version of yourself. When you can take steps with intention that are in line with that person, you know what happens? Everything changes, right? Everything transforms when you come from the right intention, right? So that is the I. Intention is a beautiful, beautiful gift you give to yourself. So you no longer just randomly going through, hoping that this thing works. Somebody said following blindly, right? We're no longer following blindly. We understand why, and we understand what we need to do, and we're doing it with intention, okay? And the last one is C. I don't have Brandon here to wrap out the C for me, but the C is creation, you guys. I said I had a lot of ahas, and I did, but creation was the shift in my life, right? So I want you guys to stop for a second and answer this question. How many of you feel like you are control freaks or you need to control? I got to control my food. I got to control my calories. I got to control. And you're walking around like this, right? Drop me a hashtag control. That was me. I controlled everything. I'm going to control this and that and everything in my life. I'm going to control everything, right? My mentor said to us, control is an illusion. And I was like, whatever. I literally backed up from my computer screen. I'm like, no, that is not an illusion. That has to be BS because I control everything. So if control is an illusion, I'm in a lot of trouble, right? So she said that, and my heart was like this. Maybe that's happening to you right now. I was like, no, I control all the things. It can't be an illusion. But then she stopped. Now I guess take a deep breath for a second. We're in this feeling. What if you let that go? What if you didn't have to control things because you got to create them? The opposite of control is creation. And you, my friend, you are the most powerful creator ever. You are the only person that can create your life. And you can. You just have to shift why you're doing things, how you're doing things, the intention you're doing that. And once you understand that you get to create your journey, you get to create your body, you get to create your thoughts, you get to create your feelings, you get to create the outcome. Like when you are the creator, you are so powerful. And when you're creating things, you don't have to control everything because you already did. You got to create it. And like you guys, when I stepped in creation, my entire life changed. And I was like, oh, well, I don't have to control things because I just get to create it. I get to create it with my thoughts. I get to create it with my feelings. I am the creator of my life, right? So drop me a hashtag creator because if you guys can feel the difference between this, right? Control and creation, right? You can create whatever you want in your life. But you know what you have to do? You just have to decide. It's just a decision. You get to decide that you are the creator, okay? So I want you guys to think about what would it feel like to create freedom? What would that feel like? What would freedom feel like for you? What if you can take those 10, 12, 15 hours that you were thinking about food, what could you create in that time? Could you create a business? Could you create more love? Could you create more joy? Could you go help other people? Yeah, you could. Guys, I get it. Like, we were reading the homework and I was there, right? Hours, literally probably 20 of, well, not 20 because I wasn't awake that many hours, but of the waking hours, I probably spent 90% of it thinking about food, thinking about what I could eat, what I should eat, if I had to feel guilty about it, if I had to feel bad about it, if it was going to, make me gain weight, if it was going to make me lose weight, if I was a good person or a bad person because I had good food or bad food, right? Like, so much time. So when you let go of that and you just understand you get to create, right? And I want you guys to understand something too. Everything, Brandon said this, I think yesterday, everything in the past is in the past, right? You can let that go. It's not your fault. But now you get to step in creation. And when you start to create, life happens fast, you guys. It comes fast and it feels so good. Okay? So I want you to step into that. So drop me a hashtag creation if you haven't done that already. But I love your comments. Yes, you guys, it is amazing. Like freedom. Freedom would feel like I'm not measuring out everything and I'm not so stressed and I'm able to focus. Yeah, like focus on health, you guys. What happens when you focus on weight loss? That's no fun. Focus on health, focus on joy, focus on strength, focus on things that empower you, right? So I want you guys to take a second and I want you to think about over your lifetime, how much money have you spent on dieting, on weight loss, on pills, on supplements, on coaches, on the unicorn diet? Like, how much money? The average person spends $9,000 or $10,000 dieting. That's a lot of money, you guys. Where else could you put that money, right? What if you never had to do that? And you could be like, I'm gonna take that $10,000 that was put into fear, that it was never supposed to help me because the diet industry doesn't want you to get out of the diet industry. What could you do? Could you go on vacation? Could you have freedom? Could you donate it? You guys, they're so just stay with me. Again, the diet industry is a $60 billion with a B dollar industry, you guys. $60 billion. They want you to stay in that industry. Okay. So let that go. You're done. You're free. Like we're giving you take off the chains. You're coming out of the diet industry. Okay. So drop me a hashtag epic, right? If you are ready to just stop doing what you've been doing, to step into creation, to have education and purpose and intention, and know that 90 days from now, your whole life could be different. Okay. So what I want you guys to think about for a second is I want you to take a breath. Okay. I want you to get centered. I'm the breathwork person. And I just want you to settle for a second. And then I want you to think about these things. And I want you to think about how do they make you feel. Okay. So what would it feel like if you finally lost the weight you wanted? And not because you were lighter, but because you were healthier. What would that feel like? Okay. What if you finally had the confidence and the self-esteem and the self-worth to go do whatever you desire in this world? What would that feel like? Okay. What if you believed that you didn't have to diet? What if you believed and you knew that nutrition can be simple? It can be easy. It can be just something that's part of your day, that you don't have to struggle and stress and worry and have guilt and shame. And you just got to get up and feed yourself. What would that feel like? Okay. What would it feel like to know that you had coaches that had your back, right? What would it feel like to know that you had accountability partners and buddies and you had all these amazing people on this feed also walking this journey with you? What would it feel like to not feel alone? Because I don't know about you, but when I was dieting, when I was bulimic, when I had my head in a toilet, it was pretty lonely. It's a pretty terrible place to be, right? What would it feel like to finally know that this is it? This is the shift you needed. This is the end, right? And so I want you guys just to take that for a second and be like, this is it. This is the last day I diet. This is the last day that I listen to the BS. This is the last day that I buy into the fact that I have to count all my food and I have to feel guilty and I have to feel shameful and I have to let somebody else decide what I want in my life. Okay. So just decide that for me. You can't even explain, right? It's so powerful, you guys. You have that power. So I'm going to share a couple more stories from our clients because they're so amazing, you guys. And it's been so incredible to see. So I'm going to tell you about Nicole, if I can get the technology right. All right, guys. So I actually want to read Nicole's to you because the words she uses, and these are her words, not our words, right? So she said the decision to commit to the program was worth every cent. The ability to connect with the admin team as well as the fellow shifters is invaluable. There's constant support, which to me was key. The holistic approach provided tools to address issues much bigger than nutrition, okay? The program calls for so much introspection and being intentional in decision making. The invitation to shift meant working on habits that are fundamental in all areas of your life. I especially loved what I thought would just be a nutrition program turned out to be so much more. So think about that, you guys. Like, she walked into the program actually thinking that it was going to be about food, right? And it had nothing to do with food. But the intentional decisions, the introspection, you guys, that's where the magic really happens. And Nicole is so amazing. And I will tell you guys, she was a little bit like, I don't think this can work for me. It's got to be too good to be true, right? Like, some of you might be feeling that, like, well, it's great at work for somebody else, but it's probably not for me, because like, I really just want to change my body and I really just want to change my relationship with food. I thought that too, you guys. Okay. Next, I want to tell you about Tiffany. Tiffany is one of my favorite people. So inside of the first program we ran, you also had the choice to do one-to-one coaching, and Tiffany and I have done one-to-one coaching. She walked into this program and she's like, I'm going all in. I'm going to make sure that this 8 weeks really, truly changes my life. And Tiffany came in knowing that there was more to it. And she's like, I have these sort of strangleholds on my life, and I need to get them off. I need to drop the anchors. I need to shift. And she stepped in full go and did all of the things, right? Like, watched the modules, did the work, did the meditations, did the breath. And I can tell you guys, she dropped so much emotional weight. It was incredible. And like, if you see her now and you saw her before, her physical being has not changed on a scale level very much, but she's glowing. She's happy. She's joyful. She let all of that weight go, you guys. And it's been the coolest process to see. So I want you guys to understand that, again, we talked about it yesterday, right? Emotional weight, you get to let it go. Okay. So, you guys are amazing. If you guys have questions, drop them here. If you're watching the replay, drop them there. I went too long, so I'm going to stop talking, but we love you guys. If you haven't seen yet that we're really passionate about what we do, that's the thing, right? We care so much about you guys, and we want to give you all of the answers. So, there will be a little more homework today. So make sure you watch for the homework. Jen will drop it soon. Like, give us more than a couple minutes once we get off, but we'll drop the homework for you guys. But really just lean into this, you guys. Think about what could your life be like? Even if you just spend 5 minutes imagining what that freedom would be like, you are already winning. So we appreciate you guys being here. One more time, tomorrow there's a Zoom. So you can Zoom with us at 11 Mountain Standard Time or 6. If you don't have those links, grab them. We want to see you. We want to interact. We want to answer all your questions. So today we told you what the EPIC formula was. Tomorrow, we're going to tell you exactly how you put it into your life and actually make these things come true. How you actually find that freedom, how you stop dieting, and how you truly make this a part of who you are. So I'm gonna bring on the team. We're gonna say adios. I was gonna say hallelujah, but adios, whatever that is.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for investing in yourself. Know that there is a different way.
All right, guys, we love you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks so much, you guys.